Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Dhanavad pranams to all of you. Start with the prayers. Om Ajnanatimidantasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Iti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pasyat Deshatarine जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधारा श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. Hare Krishna devotees, today we are going to be starting chapter number 9. So this is a very special chapter. The chapter number 9 is the most confidential knowledge. So this is absolutely very fantastic. The most confidential knowledge. So in this we are going to see, in this chapter Krishna is going to actually talk about pure devotional service. Okay. So far Krishna has revealed so many types of yoga systems, and here Krishna is going to talk about something very special. He's going to talk about something called as the parodharma. Parodharma means topmost religious principles. So we will see what is the topmost religious principle. So that is going to be the topic for today, the topmost religious principles. And then what we will do is we will talk about what is dharma, first of all, and what exactly is the purport of the dharma, what is the innermost essence of this dharma, right? That we will try to understand in today's topic. So we will start from the verse number 1 of 9.1. Okay, so let us start 9.1, verse number 9.1. So I would like some volunteers who would like to read this verse. So anybody here who is volunteering to read the verse number 1, 9.1?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, yeah, please go ahead.
Chapter 9, the most confidential knowledge. Sri Bhagwan Uvacha. Idam tu te jiyatamam pravachananasuyave jnanam vijnana sahitam yajyatva mokshase subhat.
Hare Krishna.
Translation by
Go ahead, please. Sorry.
Translation by His Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada teacher. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, My dear Arjuna, because you are never envious of me, I shall impart to you this most confidential knowledge and realization, knowing which you shall be relieved of all miseries of material existence. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, thank you.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Mataji. So I would like one of the devotees to please read the purport also. This is it's a little elaborate purport, but it's a very nice purport. Okay, it's very worth reading it. So anybody would like to read the purport, please read the purport.
May I? Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Yeah, please go ahead. Yes.
Purport. As a devotee hears more and more about the Supreme Lord, he becomes enlightened. This hearing process is recommended in the Srimad Bhagavatam. The messages of the Supreme Personality of Godhead are full of potencies, and those potencies can be realized if topics regarding the Supreme Godhead are discussed amongst devotees. This cannot be achieved by the association of mental speculators or academic scholars, for it is realized knowledge. The devotees are constantly engaged in the Supreme Lord's service. The Lord understands the mentality and sincerity of a particular living entity who is engaged in Krishna consciousness and gives him the intelligence to understand the signs of Krishna in the association of devotees. Discussion of Krishna is very potent, and if a fortunate person has such association and tries to assimilate the knowledge, then he will surely make advancement towards spiritual realization. Lord Krishna, in order to encourage Arjuna to higher and higher elevation in his potent service, describes in this ninth chapter matters more confidential than any he has already disclosed. The very beginning of Bhagavad Gita, the first chapter, is more or less an introduction to the rest of the book, and in the second and third chapters, the spiritual knowledge described is called confidential. topics discussed in the 7th and 8th chapters are specifically related to devotional service, and because they bring enlightenment in Krishna consciousness, they are called more confidential. But the matters which are described in the 9th chapter deal with unalloyed pure devotion. Therefore, this is called the most confidential. One who is situated in the most confidential knowledge of Krishna is naturally transcendental. He therefore has no material pangs, although he is in the material world. In the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, it is said that although one who has a sincere desire to render loving service to the Supreme Lord is situated in the conditional state of material existence, he is to be considered liberated. Similarly, we shall find in the Bhagavad Gita 10th chapter that anyone who is engaged in that way is a liberated person. Now, this first verse has specific significance. The verse idam jnanam, this knowledge, refers to pure devotional service, which consists of 9 different activities: hearing, chanting, remembering, serving, worshipping, praying, obeying, maintaining friendship, and surrendering everything. By the practice of these 9 elements of devotional service, one is elevated to spiritual consciousness, Krishna consciousness. When one's heart is thus cleared of material contamination, one can understand the signs of Krishna. Simply to understand that a living entity is not material is not sufficient. That may be the beginning of spiritual realization, but one should recognize the difference between activities of the body and the spiritual activities of one who surrenders that he is not the body, one who understands that he is not the body. In the 7th chapter, we have already discussed the opulent potency of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, his different energies, the inferior and the superior natures, and all these material manifestations. Now, in chapter 9, the glories of the Lord will be delineated. The Sanskrit word anasuyave in this verse is also very significant. Generally, the commentators, even if they are highly scholarly, are all envious of Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Even the most erudite scholars write on Bhagavad Gita very inaccurately. Because they are envious of Krishna, their commentaries are useless. The commentaries given by the devotees of the Lord are bona fide. No one can explain Bhagavad Gita or give perfect knowledge of Krishna if he is envious. One who criticizes the character of Krishna without knowing him is a fool. So, such commentaries should be very carefully avoided. For one who understands that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the pure and transcendental personality, these chapters will be very beneficial. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Manji, thank you so much. So, this is a very important chapter, devotees. This is chapter number 9, also called as the most confidential knowledge. Let's go through this verse once more. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Idam tu te guhyatamam pravakshyami anasuyave jnanam vijnana sahitam yad jnatva mokshase ashubhat. So let's go to the synonyms also. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha, this is spoken by Lord himself. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, Idam, this, tu, but, te, unto you, guhyatamam, the most confidential, pravakshyami, I am speaking, anasuyave, to the non-envious, jnanam, knowledge, vijnana, realized knowledge, sahitam, with, yat, which, jnatva, knowing, mokshase, you will be released, ashubhat, from this miserable material existence. So here Krishna is saying, the translation, by his divine grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, my dear Arjuna, because you are never envious of me, I shall impart to you this most confidential knowledge and realization, knowing which you shall be relieved of the miseries of the material existence. Okay, first of all, let's break it down and try to understand. First of all, this is a verse spoken by the Supreme Lord himself, right? So, there is everybody, we all pray to Almighty. I mean, there is no living being, there's no human being who does not pray to the Almighty. And here, we always wonder what is God's message for us, right? We are always thinking, what is it that God wants to tell me? Okay, oh God, what is your message for me? What is it that I should do? So here is the message of God. Okay. Now, why am I speaking about this is that here it is said that Krishna is called Bhagavan because he is a supreme Lord. He is full of all opulences. And then it is said, Dharmam tu sakshat bhagavat pranito. That means whatever Krishna speaks is the topmost religious principle. And then Krishna, he does not reveal everything to everybody. Okay. He reveals according to one's surrender. Right. So you may be wondering, so Krishna reveals himself to those who surrender to him. Now, is that bias or is it partiality? It may appear that maybe it is a bias or partiality, but think about it. Let us say we have the sun, okay, sun rays are coming inside my house, but if there's somebody who is closing his doors, shutting the doors, right? Sunlight, would it enter his house? Yes or no? Would it enter the house? No.
No, Prabhuji.
So is it the fault of the sun or is it the fault of this person who has shut the doors? All the doors shut. Right? It's a fault of the person. Similarly, Krishna is like the sun. He is always open. Okay, all the knowledge is open for everybody. Right? But the devotees, they open their doors. They open the doors of their heart. And then they receive the benedictory sun rays of Krishna's knowledge. That's the only difference. So it's not that he is partial to somebody. It's just that we are unable to take it. So the moment we open our hearts, right, all the knowledge comes inside within our heart. So Krishna is saying here, I am telling you, idam vakshyami anasuyave. He said, idam tute guhyatamam. Guhyatamam is a very significant word. Guhyatamam means most confidential. This is the most confidential knowledge that God can give anybody. And we are very lucky because we may not be like a pure devotee like Arjuna, right? But just because Arjuna was present, Krishna spoke, right? It is like, there's a nice verse which says, Krishna, Sarva Vedopanishado Gavo Dogda Gopala Nandana, right? So that means that, all the Upanishads are like the cow, right? And then this Arjuna was the calf. And Gopala Nandana is Dogda. He is actually milking the cow of Upanishads. Right? Similarly, because Arjuna is present, this knowledge came out. Because the pure devotee was there, that's why Krishna felt so much of compassion and has given this knowledge to him. And because Arjuna has received it, we are all very fortunate to be able to hear what Krishna is saying. Otherwise, this is the most confidential knowledge. This is something that we are probably not eligible to even hear. Right? But thanks to all the pure devotees like Arjuna and Vyasdev, and to Srila Prabhupada and all the Guru Parampara, that we are able to hear to this message today. So what is that message? We'll come to the message. But before that, let us understand, it's Guhyatamam. It is a very confidential knowledge. The most confidential message of Krishna is something that we are going to be hearing. Another important point is Anasuyave. Krishna is explaining the reason why I am telling you this is because there is a qualification that Arjuna has. Okay, that qualification is Anasuyave. The word Asuya, it's a common word, right? In all the languages we have. Asuya means what? Enviousness. So Anasuyave means somebody who is non-envious, right? So this is a qualification of a devotee, non-envious, also called as Nirmatsara. Nirmatsarata. Matsarata means enviousness, right? So this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita or the pure devotional service, right? Whatever Krishna is going to be delivering, this is for the Nirmatsarana. Nirmatsarana means somebody who is not envious of anybody. See, typically what happens is people are envious, right? We see that, sisters are envious of each other, brothers are envious of each other, neighbors are envious of each other, right? We see everybody, the states are envious of each other, everybody is envious of each other, okay, some way or the other. And the worst part is, all the living entities are envious of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. How many times, we keep hearing this kind of arguments that how can Krishna marry 16,108 wives? How can Krishna do this? How can Krishna do that? Right? That is called as enviousness. So Krishna is the king. So for example, king can do anything, right? King can enjoy anything in the world, right? King is, everything belongs to king. So we don't say, how can the king do this? How can the king do that, right? So like that, so that is actually a symbol of, or a signal of enviousness. So the moment we become envious of Lord, right? We become envious of Krishna, then the doors of this knowledge will be shut for us, right? And Arjuna got this knowledge because he was Anasuya way. He did not have any enviousness towards Krishna. And another important point of this verse is Jnanam Vijnana Sahitam. You see, a lot of times we get a lot of jnana, theoretical knowledge, right? We heard a lot about we are not the body. Everybody in India, we all know, okay, we are not the body, we are the soul. There is something called as Atma, and we are that Atma, Aham Brahmasmi. You see, Aham Brahmasmi. So anybody can say Aham Brahmasmi. But then, simply by saying that, it's not enough. Vijnana is required. Vijnana means realized knowledge. So that means that, once you know that you are not the body, you are the soul. So what is it that you should do being the soul? That is Vijnana. So that is what Krishna is going to explain. Jnana Vijnana Sahitam Yad Jnatva. What is the benefit of knowing this knowledge? The benefit of knowing this knowledge is Mokshase. Mokshase means we will get release from. From what? Release from what? Ashubhat. Ashubha. We say Shubha and Ashubha. Right? We say that marriage is Shubha. Right? Death is Ashubha. But actually the fact is, it's not the marriage which is Shubha or the death which is Ashubha. Ashubha is being in this material world is the real Ashubha. The real Ashubha is to be in this material world itself is the Ashubha. Shubha means the day when we go back to home, back to God, that is called Shubha. That's why there's a very beautiful verse in the Narada Bhakti Sutras, right? Narada says, the day when it rains, it is considered to be inauspicious, right? Yes or no? The day when it rains, businesses don't like it, obviously, right? So let us say there's a business, okay, which is maybe some kind of a, maybe they're selling, vegetable market. When it's going to rain very heavily, will there be loss for the vegetable market? Yes or no? Yes, right? Yeah, and a lot of things get cancelled, no? A lot of orders will get cancelled, and the business will be very weak. People won't go to the salons, they won't go to the makeup shops, anywhere. They won't go anywhere outside to purchase, right? So it's inauspicious, loss, right? Inauspicious. No, it's not the day when it rains that is inauspicious. The day when we do not hear about Krishna, that is the day which is inauspicious. And that day which we hear about Krishna, that day is auspicious. Doesn't matter what day it is. It is always. So, auspiciousness, inauspiciousness, definition itself is wrong, whatever we have kept. The real auspiciousness, Shubha, is to be able to get out of this material world. And the real inauspiciousness is to stay back here. If we are not able to remember Krishna and we stay back here, that is the worst kind of inauspiciousness that we can have. Okay, and then what is very interesting about this 9th chapter is, let me tell you. So overall, so far, Krishna started to speak in the 2nd chapter, and he spoke about the science of the soul, right? That's jnana. And then he spoke about the karma yoga. And then from the 5th chapter, that is where, the introduction of the rest of the book starts, right? 2nd and 3rd chapters are more or less spiritual knowledge. That's called confidential knowledge. And 7th and 8th chapters are related to devotional service. From chapter number 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, which is like the center. It's a sandwich, right? It's like the cream. The cream of Bhagavad Gita is between the chapter number 7 to chapter number 12. And so far we have seen the last chapter, how to attain the absolute. Correct? And the chapter number 7 and 8 are about devotional service and how can we attain enlightenment in Krishna consciousness. They are called more confidential. Chapter number 5 is called as confidential knowledge, but chapter number 7 and 8 are called more confidential knowledge, because they're talking about how to attain Krishna. Now, from chapter number 9 on, it is most confidential knowledge. So Krishna is revealing more and more and more. Okay, this is the mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead that we are able to receive this kind of knowledge. right? So Krishna is giving his mercy so graciously to all of us that he is explaining about the most confidential knowledge. What is that most confidential knowledge? Let us try to understand in this chapter. So it is called as the idam jnanam, that is this knowledge. So what is this knowledge all about? So what is Krishna going to speak about? So idam jnanam. So Krishna, is he going to speak about something more in depth about the soul and the super soul and something like that? Or is he going to get into some technical topic and talk about a lot about jnana and knowledge and so all of that? Let us see. Actually, Krishna is going to talk about pure devotional service. Idam jnanam here refers to 9 ways of devotional service. So can anybody say what are the 9 ways of devotional service? 9 activities of devotional service?
Yes, Prabhuji. May I?
Yes, please.
Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Padasevanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atmanivedanam.
How do you tell that in English?
Archana
Yeah.
Mandanam.
Yes, tell that in English.
Sorry, Prabhuji?
Tell it in English translation of those words.
Yeah. Hearing.
Hearing.
Hearing is the first. That's the
First
most
one.
powerful.
Yes.
And then followed by Vacham, speaking.
Chanting.
Chanting, hearing, chanting, remembering. Yeah. And then Padasevanam.
Serving.
Service, basically. Yeah, serving. Hearing, and then praying or praying,
worshipping,
Archanam.
Yes.
Archanam, and then
obeying like a servant, dasyam.
Yeah, dash, and then servitor is dashyam, Prabhuji.
Yes, servitor is dasyam, obeying. Yes.
And then surrendering,
friendship, maintaining friendship,
surrendering. Yeah.
Great, super.
Sorry, Prabhuji.
No problem. You were almost close. Very nice. So these 9 processes are this what Krishna is speaking about, idam jnanam. This knowledge that Krishna is going to talk about is this 9 ways of devotional service. So what is the benefit of this 9 ways of devotional services? It elevates our consciousness. So right now, we have different levels of consciousness. So typically we are in animal consciousness. Animal consciousness is eating, mating, sleeping, defending, right? See, most of the time people, when you ask them, you want to read Bhagavad Gita, they'll say, Papi pet. They'll say, Mera pet, then who will take care of my pet? Let me think about my stomach. So that is called as animal consciousness. That means eating. That means eating, mating, sleeping, defending. So considering these 4 activities as the most important activities of life, this consciousness is called animal consciousness. That means more or less it's more or less like a 2-legged animal. It's like an animal walking, like looking like a human being, but it's actually an animal only. Because only thinking about eating, only thinking about mating, only thinking about sleeping, only thinking about defending, right? But then we have to elevate to human consciousness. We say human consciousness means helping. No, human consciousness is not helping. Human consciousness means atato brahma jignasa. Human consciousness means elevating ourselves to act like a human. To act like a human is to ask spiritual inquiry, because only human being can ask a spiritual inquiry. See, helping even dog can do. See, for example, dogs also can be employed in obedient service. They are also very helpful animals. So we cannot say, that is the topmost consciousness. That is one level of consciousness. That's called helpful dog consciousness. But we want to elevate from that helpful dog consciousness to human consciousness. Human consciousness means Krishna consciousness. That is spiritual consciousness. That means to think about the reason why I'm suffering here. How can I go back from here? How can I not suffer? Like, why am I dying? Why is this happening? That's called spiritual inquiry. Athato Brahma Jignasa. Right? So we have to understand the spiritual knowledge. Spiritual knowledge, animals cannot get spiritual knowledge. Human beings can get spiritual knowledge. So this is about this most confidential knowledge that Krishna is going to speak about. Right? And very important words, Anasuya way. Because why is Krishna specifically saying Anasuya way? See, there were some people already in that Mahabharata, in the Kurukshetra Yuddha also, there were some people who were envious of Krishna. Who are they? Can anybody say? Who are some of the people who are envious of Krishna, who are present there?
Duryodhana, Prabhuji?
Yeah, for example, Duryodhana, right? Duryodhana,
Shishupal,
Shishupal, Prabhuji.
Shishupal, Duryodhana, right?
Kamsa.
Dhritarashtra also to some
Shakuni.
extent.
Shakuni, Prabhu.
Shakuni, all of them. Kamsa, Karna, all of them.
Dhritarashtra.
Yeah, they're all envious of Krishna, right? And actually, it is very surprising to note that that tendency, right, that Duryodhana consciousness, right? Duryodhana was always, everybody used to come, it's happened in Kurukshetra. Even before Kurukshetra, he's the grandson of Vyasdev, right? Dhritarashtra is the son of Vyasdev, right? And so many sages used to come for counseling. And everybody, any sage who used to come used to say, Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. Supreme personality of Godhead has descended. Just follow whatever he says. Then your life will be perfect. But Duryodhana used to say, no, I don't accept that he is the supreme personality of Godhead. For me, he is just a human being. For me, he is just like this. For me, he is just an intelligent person. For me, he is just a smart person. So this consciousness, right? So Duryodhana died, but that consciousness is still around. You agree, right? Now, for me, Krishna is not the Supreme Lord. Krishna is an intelligent person. For me, Krishna is so and so. For me, Krishna is a strategist. Krishna is just not the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So this consciousness has also creeped into the commentaries of Bhagavad Gita. There are so many commentaries of Bhagavad Gita which surprisingly take people away from Krishna. They try to minimize Krishna. Krishna is showing Vishwarupa and establishing in each and every chapter that he is the Supreme Lord, and everybody, everything, all the universes are coming from him. He is the origin of all the demigods. He's saying, I am all in all, just surrender to me. But so expertly, we see that some envious people who are writing commentaries trying to minimize the importance of Krishna. So it is said that we should stay away from these commentaries. Prabhupada is specifically writing, these commentaries are useless because these commentators are envious of Krishna. I mean, they have this attitude of the Duryodhana that why should I accept that Krishna is a Supreme Lord? Okay, let me write a commentary which minimizes him. I will just take out everything except highlighting Krishna. So it is called as a half hen logic. Half hen logic means, there's a hen, right? There was a hen which was given by a father to their children. Okay, one part was, had to feed, right? From the mouth. The other part, it was giving eggs. So the two brothers, they said, okay, let's cut it into pieces. So the brother said, I'm going to cut it into pieces. I don't want the piece which is eating food. I want the piece which only gives the eggs. And he cut that hen. This is called as a half hen logic. I mean, those people who try to dissect Bhagavad Gita, trying to say that I'm going to reject these verses where Krishna is saying I'm the Supreme Lord. I'm going to select the verses which talk about mind control, which talk about tapasya, which talk about so many other things, about the spiritual knowledge, about the body, soul. I'll take only that part. This is called as a half hen logic. This is usually done by the envious people. That's why they're called as non-devotees. And Prabhupada always keeps saying, right, devotees, right? And then we say non-devotees. And it sometimes is very offensive. But people say, why are you saying non-devotee? It's so offensive, right? But then it's not something we said, okay? It's like Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, in the last 18th chapter, you see, he says, abhaktana. He says, do not tell this knowledge to the non-devotees. He says, this knowledge is not for the non-devotees. It is not for those people who are envious of Krishna. It is not for people like Dhritarashtra or Duryodhana. It is for people like Arjuna, who are non-envious, right? So therefore, anybody who criticizes the character of Krishna by saying that, oh, Krishna is only in Dwapar Yuga, why are you saying he is a supreme? Or if saying Krishna was born to Devaki Devi, right? He also took birth and he also died on the, like this. Sometimes, there's a story how he died. He was born, he was dead. He's a Dwapar Yuga person, okay? Why are you saying that it's Lord? So these are all called fools, actually. Anybody who criticizes Krishna's character without knowing the tattva is called as a fool. So therefore, we should avoid these commentaries, right? And whatever Krishna is going to speak from now on, right? This is going to be very, very interesting and pure, okay? Pratyakshaavagamam dharmyam. Let's go to the next verse. This is a very important verse. Rajavidya Rajaguhyam Pavitram Idamuttam. Okay, anybody wants to read this verse, please?
May I, Prabhuji?
Yeah, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandvat Pranams. Text 2. Rajavidya Rajaguhyam Pavitramidamuttamam प्रत्यक्षावागमं धर्म्यं सुसुखं कर्तुमव्ययम्. Translation. This knowledge is the king of education, the most secret of all secrets. It is the purest knowledge, and because it gives direct perception of the self by realization, it is the perfection of religion. It is everlasting and it is joyfully performed.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna,
Thank you,
Prabhuji.
Ma.
Thank you.
Rajavidya Rajaguhyam Pavitram Idam Uttamam Pratyakshavagam Dharmyam Susukam Kartum Avyayam. Rajavidya, the king of education. Rajaguhyam, the king of confidential knowledge. Pavitram, the purest. Idam, this. Uttamam, transcendental. Pratyaksha, by direct experience. Avagamam, understood. Dharmyam, the principle of religion. Susukham, very happy. Kartum, to execute. Avyayam, everlasting. Just one verse has so much of meaning inside it, okay? Let me try to explain in brief. So first of all, the words Rajavidya, Rajaguhyam, the word Raja, we all know Raja means king, right? King. King means king is like the best among all the subjects, right? When you say something is very royal, he looks like the king. We say that it's like the best, it's like royal. So this is king of education. This education is the king of education. The Krishna consciousness devotional service to Krishna is called as the king of education. And it is king of the confidential knowledge. So if there is anything which is a secret, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, I am the secret. So Krishna says, I am the secret in Bhagavad Gita. So what is that secret? The most secretive thing of the universe is this. The most secretive part of the universe is this. The most secretive part of the universe or the Vedas is that Sambandha Avideya Prayojana. Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and we are all part and parcel of Krishna, and we have forgotten Krishna, and we have to re-establish our lost relationship. It's not a new relationship. We are simply trying to revive that lost relationship with the Supreme Lord, and we have to serve this Supreme Personality of Godhead, and by doing that, it is Shubha. That is, we are going to get liberated from this clutches of the material world, and we are going to go back to Him, and we'll be always happy. This is the simple secret. It's open secret, okay? This secret, it's open, but people still can't get it. That is the speciality of the secret. Because, you may be thinking, how is it that it is secret, but still people don't get it? Bhagavad Gita is not something new. Right? It's not that we are just trying to read Bhagavad Gita now. It's there from last 5,000 years, isn't it? And everybody has access to Bhagavad Gita. It's open for all. It's not hidden somewhere in some corner or something, isn't it? But then why people are still not able to understand this simple point, simple fact that Krishna is the Supreme Lord. I am part and parcel of Krishna, and I have to serve Him. I have to completely surrender to His will. That's it. This is a simple message of Bhagavad Gita, but still people are unable to get attracted to Krishna. And the reason Krishna explains is because of Tesham Antargatam Papam. Means unless somebody is pure, somebody is, for example, there's a magnet and there's an iron. Okay, iron gets attracted to the magnet, right? But a stone doesn't get attracted to a magnet, isn't it? Iron has similar properties, gets attracted, right? Somebody who is not having any sinful activities, he is out of this moha, which is of Krishna. Krishna is like, spreading his external energy, Maya. Everybody is affected by that external energy of Maya, except the devotees, except the pure-hearted people who are pious people. So the pious people, pure-hearted people, they get attracted to Krishna. So and then when they get attracted to Krishna, they get further purified. Because this is pavitram. This knowledge itself, pure devotional service of Krishna is called pavitram. And this knowledge is for the nirmatsaranam satam. Nirmatsaranam satam means it is for those non-envious people. For those people who want to see everybody benefited, who want to see that everybody is happy. So that kind of people, not for the Lagu Chetasam. Lagu Chetasam means I am Veti, Paro Veti. Lagu Chetasam means there are some kind of people who say this is mine, this is yours, this is mine, this is yours, this is mine, this is my person, this is my person, this is your person, it's not mine. So that is Lagu Chetasam. This is not for Lagu Chetasam. It's for, Udara Cheritanam. It is for those who have a very nice character. This knowledge is for those people. Pure devotional service is for such kind of gentlemen, right? Sadhu, Nirmatsaranam, who are not envious of anybody and who are not even envious of any living entity, who are not envious of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, very importantly. For them, everything knowledge is very clear. It's very simple. It's very easy to understand for somebody like that. But for somebody who is Matsarana, who is full of enviousness, for them this knowledge is very difficult because the moha, ichcha and dvesha, that is, liking and hatred, this comes as an obstacle for them because they have some personal preferences. They like something, they dislike something very strongly, which is coming on their way in understanding what Krishna is saying. So this knowledge is called pavitram. Knowledge of Bhagavad Gita is pavitram, means purified, the purest. Idam uttamam. Uttama. The word uttama means udgata tama iti uttama. Tamam means darkness. Udgata tama iti uttama means it is beyond the darkness. It is transcendental. It is beyond the material knowledge. So material knowledge, there can be so much material knowledge, PhDs, postdoctorates, all of that. That's material knowledge. That is vidya, or it's avidya, to be speaking more precisely. That's shilpakala, that is craftsmanship. But this is vidya, which is something which liberates you, and it is uttama vidya, uttama knowledge. Vidya means something which liberates. Okay, let me tell you the very important point. Vidya, okay, the definition of vidya is ya vidya sa vimuchyate. That's the definition of vidya. Vidya definition is something that liberates you. It's not something that binds you. So we say vidyalaya, right? Vidyalaya. So actually, whatever knowledge that we are, material knowledge, is called avidya. Avidya means forgetting Krishna and associating with Maya. So any knowledge which is not liberating us, that's called avidya. So this is not avidya, this is Raja Vidya. So Vidya is there, the Veda is all giving Vidya, but this is Raja Vidya, the royal secret of the Vedas. Raja Guhyam, secret. Pavitram, the purest. Itam Uttamam, that most transcendental knowledge. Pratyakshaavagamam dharmyam. This is very important. Pratyakshaavagamam means, Pratyaksha means direct experience. And it is understood directly, by direct perception. Right? Just like how we see something, it's a direct perception. When you eat something, it's direct perception. Similarly, when you are advancing in Krishna consciousness, it is direct perception. You don't have to ask anybody for feedback. For example, if you ask a question like, how am I progressing in my devotional service? You don't need to ask anybody. You yourself know the answer. Whether you are stuck at some place, or where you are coming down, or whether devotional service is going up. Just like when you eat some food, you have a direct perception about the food taste. You have the direct perception of, you are feeling energetic, you are feeling happy at the same time. Similarly, when you're doing devotional service, when you're chanting, doing Shravanam, Kirtanam, all of this, multiple things are happening at the same time. Okay, you're getting transcendental knowledge from within, you're getting detached from the material world, and you're getting happiness. Okay, you're getting so much of bliss. So it is a process that anybody can experience, right? Prabhupada says this, right? There's a very nice record, if you have heard that. Okay, Hare Krishna record. I'll send you the link. In that, there's a very nice speech that Prabhupada says. Prabhupada says, in this Krishna consciousness movement, even a dog can participate, even a child can participate. Even a small child can participate. We see small children, 2-year-old also, clapping in Kirtan, right? And enjoying Krishna consciousness, right? Even we see sometimes some animals also, dancing, right? In Krishna consciousness. I've seen some videos like that. Some animals are dancing in Krishna consciousness. When they hear the Kirtan, the animal is dancing. Like there was a deer that's dancing. So the pratyaksha, so that is, it is direct perception. Okay, anybody can experience this. And most importantly, it is susukam. It is not very difficult. Okay, Krishna is not saying people that, you just surround yourself in the summer with fire. It's not saying in the winter, just immerse yourself in cold water. He's not saying all of that. He's just saying, just hear about me. He's saying, Shrunu, just hear about me. That's all. Hearing only we have to just do is hear. That's it. We have to do hearing, chanting, all the 9 devotional activities which are very easy to perform. Actually, it is susukam. When we go for any festival, Krishna conscious festival like Janmashtami, Ratha Yatra, etc., there's so much of bliss. There's so much of beautiful decoration. All the devotees, they're so blissful to see them. And there's so much of nice prasadam, there's so much of kirtan, there's so much of sukha. It is susukham. It's not at all difficult, to do this. And avyayam dharmam. Avyayam dharmam means it's an everlasting religion, principle of religion. See, principles of religion, there are two types of principles of religion. The lower principles of religion and the higher principle of religion. So when we speak about dharma, a lot of people think the lower principles of religion as all in all, right? For example, we have Matru Devo Bhava, Pitru Devo Bhava, like that, Atidhi Devo Bhava. We have so many different principles of religion. But the highest principle of religion is to surrender unto the Lord. Highest principle of religion is Sarva Dharman Parityajya Mamekam Sharanam Vraja Aham Tvam Sarva Papebhyo Mokshayishyami Masucha. The topmost religious principle is to reject all the other religious principles which are rooted in this Matsarata. Right? It's also said in the Bhagavatam. Right? It is said that Dharma Projita Kaitavotra Paramo. It is called Kaitava Dharma. There is something called as Kaitava Dharma, and there is something called as Avyaya Dharma, or Bhagavata Dharma, or Sanatana Dharma. Avyaya Dharma, Avyaya means Sanatana. When you say Avyaya, the synonym is Sanatana. Sanatana Dharma, when we say Sanatana Dharma, we are confusing, okay? When we say Hindu Dharma, Sanatana Dharma, and we are confusing something, we are taking Kaitava Dharma and we are saying it is Sanatana Dharma. No. Kaitava Dharma is Projita. In Srimad Bhagavatam, it says Srimad Bhagavatam kicks out. Projita means it is kicking out. It's saying kick out, get out. That is not Dharma at all. That is Kaitava Dharma. Kaitava Dharma is not real Dharma. The real Dharma is the Dharma of the soul. The real Dharma is I am not the body. I am the soul. And my real Dharma is to serve the God. I have to serve my Lord with all my senses. That is called real Dharma. Anything that is going to help me do that, that is real Dharma. Anything which is coming against that, that is Kaitava Dharma. You see, for example, we see that Vibhishana and Ravana. You see, Vibhishana was the brother, younger brother of Ravana. So Kaitava Dharma, ordinary religious principle is that whatever your brother says, you have to follow. Right? That is the ordinary religious principle. But we see that Vibhishana rejected, or rather Ravana rejected him, and he was kicked out because he was adamant. He was not ready to accept what Ravana was saying. But actually Dharma says you should follow what your father is saying, what your elder brother is saying. He was kicked out and he came and associated with his enemy. Now talk about that. Rama is the enemy of Ravana. It is not Dharma that you join the hands of the enemy and defeat. There's a higher principle, okay? So here it is Lord Ramachandra, Supreme Personality of Godhead himself. So there's no point of any other Kaitava Dharma here. Any lower principles of religion are not applicable here at all. Because when you have Krishna there, the only principle of religion is to follow what Krishna says. Dharmam tu sakshat bhagavat pranito. Whatever Krishna says, do it. That's it. That is Dharma. Anything against it is adharma. Okay. So this point we have to understand. So Vibhishana simply surrendered to Lord Ramachandra and he was perfect. And whatever he did was perfect. There was nothing wrong in it. We see Prahlad Maharaj, his father was continuously saying, don't worship Lord Vishnu. So he was a king, Hiranyakashipu, he was a king. And Hiranyakashipu was a king and he was a father also. Right? So to follow the king is dharma. To follow the instructions of the father is dharma. Right? That's what Lord Ramchandra also showed us, embodied that, we have to follow what father is saying. Pitruvakya paripalana. Right? But then here, Prahlad is rejecting continuously. I will not listen to what you are saying. This is continuous saying, you should not worship Vishnu. I say, I will worship only Vishnu. Now, is Prahlad irreligious then? Is he adharma? Is he following adharma? Is he irreligious? He has caught the higher principles of religion. Right? That's called parodharma. Right? It says in the Srimad Bhagavatam, there's a nice verse. It says, Savai pumsam parodharmo yato bhakti radhokshaje ahaitukya apratihata yayatma suprasidate. The topmost religious principle is that to surrender to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is called as the topmost religious principle. Okay, everything else is lower religious principles. So that's why Krishna also says, there are Yamimam Pushpitam Vacham. I mean, there's so many verses in the Vedas which are flowery. Pushpitam Vacham. Pravadanti avapaschita. Some people who are not very intelligent, they think that that is all in all. They say that this is everything. They say Sarvamiti. They say this is everything, all in all. This is perfect. Going to Swargaloka is perfect. Or doing this is perfect. This is the best activity. Everybody is thinking like they are avapaschita. Avapaschita means they are not very intelligent. They are not very learned. The real learned person understands that to follow what the real father, the real mother, the creator of the universe, the maintainer of the universe, destroyer of the universe, the original personality, you have to follow him. This is the essence of this 9th chapter. Okay, this is what we want to be discussing about. Okay, so actually there are so many different kinds of philosophies in India, right? So we have Gautama, Kannada, Kapila, Yajnavalkya, we have Sankhya philosophy, we have Nyaya, and different types of philosophies are there. Now they are all extinct. Now we speak about Socrates, etc., etc. But these are traditional philosophies of India. Okay, and we have Vedanta. So we are the followers of the Vedanta. Vedanta philosophy is said to be the topmost philosophy. And Vyasadeva is the author of this Vedanta Sutra, Vedanta philosophy. Right? So there's so much of philosophical knowledge. Now, Krishna is saying that this is the king of all this knowledge. There can be so many different types of knowledge. Right? By Socrates or by Aristotle or by anybody, or by all our Kannada, Kapila, Yajnavalkya, Shandilya, all of these people. This is the topmost knowledge. This is the most confidential knowledge because it ultimately culminates in the bhakti, devotional service. Right? So, yeah, that's about these words. Now, let us do one thing. I want to, instead of just getting into the verses further, let's do something. Okay, I'm going to talk about something very interesting. I want to tell you a story of Bhagavatam. Okay, so you know what happened? Narada, we'll talk about what is the topmost religious principle. That's the topic for today, right? So Narada, he was actually in the previous lifetime a son of a maid servant. Okay, son of a maid servant. So in the earlier days, past many centuries ago, there used to be Dasi system, right? Even couple of years ago, also couple of hundreds of years ago, also there was this slavery system, right? Even in the America, also there was slavery system, Dasi system like that. So there'll be some people called Dasis. Dasi means servants, right? And then Narada in his previous lifetime was a son of a Dasi. He was a son of a Dasi Putra. So he is a son of one of such maid servants. And he has no formal education. He did not go to any Vedic Pathshala. He did not go to any Vedic Pathshala or anywhere. He did not go anywhere, okay? All he was doing was he was assisting his mother. His mother used to be in some Gurukul. He was doing some kind of a service to the some devotees there and some people there. That's what she used to be doing. And Narada, he was in his previous lifetime, he's assisting his mother. So while assisting his mother, what happened was there were some devotees called Bhakti Vedantas. It was Chaturmasya. Just now we finished Chaturmasya, right? When the Kartik finishes, it's Chaturmasya finished. The last 4 months was Chaturmasya. So the 4 months of Chaturmasya, so there'll be some advanced personalities who will travel and they'll stay in one village and they'll stay back there. So some Bhakti Vedantas, the pure devotees of Krishna had come there and they came to their village. And the service of Narada's mother was to serve them. And then Narada took up this service personally and he was also serving very nicely. He was taking the food, he was serving them food, he was cleaning everything, all the things, that servants do. Right? Cleaning up everything, all of the menial services. And then it is given in the Srimad Bhagavatam, here it's written, Uchchista lepan anumodito dvijaha sakrut smabhunje tadapasta kilvishaha evam pravrittasya vishuddha chetasas tadharma evatma ruchi prajayati. So what he was doing was, sometimes, the sages will eat the food. After he will, give the food to them, they will eat the food. After eating, they would leave the food a little bit there. So then he will ask their permission and say, can I eat the remnants? And again, that's called Uchchista. Uchchista means somebody eats, eating the remnants of somebody leaving. Usually it is not a good practice. We don't eat anybody's remnants. If somebody eats in the plate, we don't go and eat them. That's called tamsik. But here the case is, spiritually advanced people, they were very great Bhakti Vedantas. We take the remnants of Krishna, isn't it? When we offer Naivedya or Bhoga, it is a remnant of Krishna. So, when you take advanced personalities of remnants of Guru, we take, right? So that is very powerful, right? Here in this case, so he took permission of this Bhaktivedantas and said, can I take your remnants? And said, yes, you can take. And he simply took the remnants that, they used to, after whatever they left, he used to eat. That's it. That's all he did, nothing else. He didn't go to any Gurukula, he did not study any philosophy, he did not do any tapasa, he didn't do anything else. All he did was he did that. He was serving them very nicely. It's called Tan Mahat Sevaya Vipra. He was doing Mahat Seva, that is, he was serving great devotees. And he was doing the second thing, Shrunvatam Swagatam Krishna. He was hearing the Krishna Katha. Punya Shravana Kirtana. So he was simply, when they were chanting from the lips of the pure devotee, he was simply serving them and hearing. That's what Krishna said, no? Tatvidhi pranipadena pariprashnena sevaya. So he was doing seva, service, and he was hearing Shrunvatam, Swakatam Krishna. He was hearing Krishna Katha. And ultimately that entered inside his heart. And then what happened was, one day they all left. And he said, I will come along with you. He said, no, you don't come with us because you have your mother with you. You have to serve your mother. Your mother is solo mother and you have to serve her. How can you leave her and come? So they left. Afterwards, one day, her mother, when she was milking the cow, she died due to a snake bite. So now Narada doesn't have anybody. So no mother, no father, no brother, no sister, nothing, nobody. Right? Now he has only one thing. He has got this knowledge that was given by the devotees, Bhaktivedantas. That knowledge he was having inside his heart. Right? And then based on that knowledge, he was simply just following the instructions to always remember Krishna. So he headed straight towards north. He started walking. He left that village. And he was walking and walking and walking and walking. And he came across so many different cities, different forests, different mountains, different type of people. He was not attached anywhere. He was just keep going. And one day he sits down for meditation. And then when he was meditating upon the mantra that was given to him, he suddenly saw that he was able to see Lord within his heart. And when he opened his eyes, he saw the Lord in front of him. Right? And in a moment, it vanished. Lord vanished. And then he could hear the Akashvani saying that, you won't be able to see me further for this lifetime because you have got only that much qualification for now based on your devotional service that you did. You have only qualification for me to see me for a moment. Okay, because I am not visible to those people who are kuyoginaha. Kuyogina means those people who are not practicing this bhakti yoga properly. I am not visible to them. A lot of people challenge, say, show me God. God is ready to become visible in front of us if we become suyoginaha. Right? As long as we are kuyoginaha, we are not the best of the proper bhakti yoga. If we don't do it, Krishna won't be visible to us until then. Okay. So we can't challenge Krishna like that and say, come in front of me, show yourself. That is not the process of challenge. We can't challenge I can't challenge the Prime Minister and say, Prime Minister, if you are there, you should come in front of me. Otherwise, you are not there. This is a stupid thing. We cannot. That's not the process of seeing God. The process of seeing God is like how Narada did. So devotional service he was doing, and then finally he realized that, and he tried a lot, he was not able to see Lord. And ultimately what he did was he was continuously chanting the names of Krishna, he was continuously doing devotional practice, and he left his body. So when he was thinking about Krishna and left his body, attaining the Supreme. Right? 8th chapter. Antakale cha mameva smaran muktva kalevaram yaprayati samadbhavam yati nasyatra samshaya. So he attained. So now in this lifetime he attained a transcendental body. The life of Narada is transcendental. It's not a birth. Okay, we cannot think it's a birth again. Narada was born again, but he was born as a son of Brahma. He's a Manasa Putra. That means from the mind of Lord Brahma he was born. So that is like first to Lord Brahma, the 4 Kumaras, and then the 11 Rudras. Lord Shiva and 11 Rudras were born, and then next Narada was born. Right? So he's like that. So next Narada as a Brahma Manasa Putra, he was born, and then he has got a ability that he can go anywhere. Whenever Lord takes incarnation, he is there. He is always telling everybody about devotional service. So his message is this, okay? His message is this, that, I was a son of a maid servant. And all I did is this. I served the pure devotees. and I heard from them and I followed what they said. That's it. And now, being the son of a maidservant, I have become Narada. Narada is like the Acharya of Bhakti. So if that is after the day of Brahma, that is after the end of the night of Brahma, we talked about the night of Brahma, right? After the night of Brahma, he was born again the day of Brahma, in the Kalpanta, in the beginning of the Kalpa. He was born as Narada. Now he can go to Vaikunta, now he can go to Goloka, he can go anywhere where he wants to travel. He's called the Transcendental Spaceman. So now he is not bound by anybody. He speaks to everybody. He goes in every Leela, he is present. Correct? That's Narada. Completely liberated. Right? So that is Narada. Okay, so that's a message. This is Pratyakshavagavam Dharma, means this message is that 9th chapter, the essence is this, okay? That we have to understand that whatever we may have thought that this is religious principle, that is religious principle, is not the real religious principle. It's not parodharma. It's not the topmost religious principle. There's something called as what is better and better and better and the best. So now here Krishna is directly speaking about what is the best. What's the topmost religious principle? There is nothing beyond this. And there is nothing which is equal to this. Everything is simply below this. Why? Because if you follow this dharma, you are not going to the Swarga Loka, you will not go to the Naraka Loka, you will not go coming back here becoming a king or anything like that, or Indra or even Brahma. You can go back to home, back to Godhead. You can go to that place where there is no more birth and death, and you can associate with Krishna directly face to face, always. Right? So that is the secret that Krishna is telling us. Right? How Narada was able to do it. He got the taste of hearing and chanting. He developed the desire for devotional service, right? So like that, the purpose of the Vedanta Sutra or the purpose of the Vedas is to find Krishna. And this is the secret of Bhagavad Gita. Krishna himself said, Vedaisya sarvair ahameva vedyo. The purpose of the Vedas is nothing except to attain Krishna. And to attain Krishna, this is the only process. Right? We have seen, right? Ananyas cheta satatam yomam Smarati nitya saha tasyaham sulava partha nitya yuktasya yoginaha. So purushasya parah partha. So bhaktyam shaknoti ananyayaha. That means Krishna is the Supreme Lord. He is the Supreme Lord. Krishna is saying Bhagavad Gita. And bhaktyam labhyate. It's possible to only attain Krishna by pure devotional service. That is the message of Bhagavad Gita. Right? So this is the path of the religion that, what Narada has explained. So this Srimad Bhagavatam, and Bhagavad Gita, the Srimad Ramayana, all of this are explaining the topmost devotional service. The topmost devotional service is like that of the Hanuman, right? Like that of Vibhishana, like that of Lakshmana, right? To be always saying yes to Lord, right? We should not say no. We should not doubt the Lord. We should not have any kind of inhibition or any kind of enviousness towards the Lord. And we should stop associating with those people who are envious of the Lord. Right? That's a simple thing. And then we can attain the Supreme Lord. Okay? Any questions that anybody has?
Prabhuji, Narad Muni ji story you were sharing. So he, in previous life, he got the Lord's mercy so easily. Was it because of his previous life karma, Prabhuji, or some other? Yeah,
he is saying, Narada Muni is saying, I was able to attain Krishna because of the grace of the pure devotees. By grace of the pure devotees, we can attain Krishna. That is the principle that everybody is missing this point. In India, there are a lot of devotees. They are doing devotional service, but not through the devotees, not through the Guru. They're trying to go directly to Krishna, which is a mistake. We'll never be able to attain Krishna in that way. That's not the process at all. Right?
Yeah, because in the one life, he could see the Krishna.
Correct. He simply served the pure devotees. That's it. He took it said that the remnants of the pure devotees and the dust of the lotus feet of the pure devotees, this is so potent, very powerful. Right?
Thank you.
And then Srimad Bhagavatam, it is said, yes, Srimad Bhagavatam, Rahugana is saying, we have to bath ourselves in the dust of the feet of the devotees. That means that, if you go to, for example, if you can go to Janmashtami Seva, we should not be aiming to go to the altar and serving the Lord, right? That is one service. There is another service that those devotees who are coming in the chappal stand should take the chappal and keep it. So which one is more important, right? We should be ready to be in the chappal stand, right? Because that is where we get the dust of the lotus feet of the devotees, not in the altar with Krishna, right? We think, everybody wants to be in the altar serving the Supreme Lord directly. Nobody wants to be the chappal stand, right? But the process is not that. The process is Krishna would appreciate if we are in the chappal stand instead of being in the altar. Are you understanding what I'm saying?
Yes, Prabhuji. Understood.
Yes,
Hare
Prabhuji. I
Krishna,
think
Prabhu.
in
Sorry.
Gurudwara they do that service also, Prabhuji. I've
Yes.
seen especially even very dignified persons also, they get down their car, I have seen personally, but they serve in the chapel stand for a few hours and they return.
Right. And I'll tell you, Krishna himself also did that. You'll be surprised to see that. Okay. When the Rajasuya Yajna happened, okay, he's a hero. Okay. Rajasuya Yajna, at the end of the conclusion of Rajasuya Yajna, who was felicitated at the end of Rajasuya Yajna? Who was felicitated as the supreme person in the court? Lord Brahma was there. Lord Brahma was there. Lord Shiva was there. Vyasdev was there. Narada was there. Vishwamitra was there. Everybody was there. Indra was there. They had to select one person who is the supreme in that court. In that assembly, they had to select one person and felicitate who is the supreme above everybody. Whom did they felicitate in the Rajasuya Yajna?
Lord Krishna.
Lord Shri Krishna.
Lord Sri Krishna.
Lord Sri Krishna. So everybody unanimously agreed that here is the supreme person who is above all of us, except Shishupal. Shishupal didn't agree. Right? Envious people don't agree. Right? So,
Prabhu, Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
yes,
Sorry
Prabhu.
to.
No problem.
How do we say that one is envious of Krishna? How can it be, Prabhu?
Shishupal is there,
I mean,
no?
I can't
Example. No, simple, Prabhu. The thing is, what happened? I tell you, Rajasuya Yajna is a perfect example, okay? Rajasuya Yajna, the purpose of that was, Yudhishthir Maharaj wanted to do Rajasuya Yajna for one purpose. He wanted to, it's not that he wanted to become the king of all the, he wanted to become the emperor. His mind was, it's given in Srimad Bhagavatam, his mind was, if I defeat all the kings and I perform Rajasuya Yajna, at that point of time, there is a ritual that the topmost personality must be worshipped in the assembly. That is a ritual that is there in Rajasuya Yajna. Okay. He thought that, okay, if I do this Rajasuya Yajna, now we have Krishna in front of us. We will all worship Krishna and establish that Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead, who is above everybody. So this will be a great service to Krishna, that we are establishing him as the supreme, and so that the whole world can see this and understand that, the Pandavas, Vyasdev, all the Lord Vishnu, Lord Shiva, Lord Brahma, everybody agreed, all the Devdas agreed that Krishna is the supreme. So he wanted to establish that, right? And all the arrangements were done, everything was done, and then came the final moment, right? Everybody is sitting and waiting for that moment, right? Just imagine, there's an election where they're going to announce the winning person, right? Or who is the winner, something like that. So everybody is sitting very anxiously. Now that the moment has come, they have to felicitate the supreme person. And then Nakula and Sahadev, Nakula, I think he starts speaking that, I think we should felicitate Krishna, because Krishna is not an ordinary personality. He is supreme personality of Godhead. He has done superhuman activities. He is not at all a human being. Actually, in fact, all these material universes are coming from him. They are maintained by him and are going inside him. For him, this is nothing. Okay, he coming here and associating with us, doing strategies with us, politics with us, is just his grace. Actually, he has got nothing to do with us, all of these activities here. But he's so graciously come here and he's blessing all of us. We should be so thankful to him. He's unborn Supreme Lord, right? And attaining him is the the goal of every human being, and we must all be actually felicitating him. And then Bhishma stood up and he said, I 100% agree to what Nakula is saying. Even though he's very young person, he's spoken perfect truth. This is perfectly correct. I have always heard this. He is the Supreme Lord. There's no doubt about it. And he says, Lord Krishna, everybody says I'm a great brahmachari, but if I am in between all the gopis, I'm not sure if I'm going to be a brahmachari at all. But Krishna is completely unperturbed, even in between 1 billion gopis. He's the Supreme Lord. He is completely unattached from everything. Such a detached personality he is. It says, Bhishma says that. Okay. Now we should worship. And then Shishupal stood up and said, this is nonsense. You people are out of your minds. This person is the Supreme Lord. What is he? And he started blaspheming Krishna. What is Krishna? What did he do? What is the kind of activities that he's doing? Is after all, like this, the kind of activities that he has done is like this. It's so abominable. You are all out of his mind. And there were some people who were his supporters who were saying, yes, yes, Jarasandha and all. They were like, yes, yes, yes. Now, they are all envious, no, Prabhu? Is that clear? So why are they saying that, right? When Bhishma Pitama is saying, Vyasdev is saying, Narada is saying, Devatas are saying, Shishupal is saying, no, this is nonsense. You are all out of your mind. So that consciousness is still around, right? Shishupal is not dead. That is called Asuya. It's enviousness towards the Supreme Lord. Is that okay, Prabhu? Does that answer your question?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Prabhuji, this Shishpal and this assembly thing happened before Mahabharata war?
I think so, yes. Yes. Correct. Before Mahabharata. Yes. Then Krishna, what happened? Krishna kills Shishupala in front of everybody. Right? He sends his Sudarsana Chakra and cuts the head of Shishupala.
The head of Shishupala.
Right? And there's some supporters who get very disturbed and they leave that place. The supporters of Shishupal who leave that place. Correct? And then later they will be killed by Krishna, one after the other. So it's a simple, straightforward fact. We have to just understand and digest it. And if we are not very clear, we have to read Bhagavad Gita again and again and again. That's it. The purpose of life is to attain to the loving devotional service of Krishna. The purpose of Varnashrama Dharma, the purpose of the Vedic Dharma, entire Varnashrama Dharma is to only satisfy Vishnu. Vishnu Aradhyapite Puman. Right? Varnashrama Acharavato Pumsan, Vishnu Aradate Puman. So the purpose of Varnashrama Dharma or the entire Vedic culture is to ultimately come to that consciousness which those people of Rajasuya Yajna came. To come to that conclusion is the topmost conclusion. If you don't come to that conclusion, it is ignorance. Krishna is saying in the 13th chapter, the symptoms of knowledge. He says one of the symptoms of knowledge is to do unalloyed devotional service of Krishna and to surrender to the lotus feet of the Acharya or the spiritual master. And he says many more things, but these two are the key important things. He says to do unalloyed devotional service of me and to surrender to the Acharya or a spiritual master is called Jnana, knowledge. And he says anything be opposite of this, whatever I said, the qualities, is called Ajnana, ignorance. It's just ignorance. If we are not able to accept these two principles, that Krishna is the Supreme Lord and I need to surrender to a spiritual master, it's purely ignorance. That's it. So we have to come out of ignorance and get into knowledge. Yeah, any other questions, devotees?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes, please, Mataji.
Prabhuji, is there a Narada for every universe or there is only one and only one Narada?
I'm not sure, Mataji. I'm not very sure about it.
Okay, Prabhuji. Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Thank
Hare
you.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji,
Any other questions?
What is the best
Hare
way
Krishna.
to deal with these envious people?
How to
If
deal
this-
with the envious people? Okay, that's a nice question. Okay, when we go for preaching, we see two type of people. Okay, one is innocent and one is envious. And this is the secret. This is a formula given by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Okay, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said to Nityananda Prabhu and Haridas Thakur to go and preach about Krishna, about Bhagavad Gita, about Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So Nityananda Prabhu used to go, Haridas Thakur used to go out for preaching. And Nityananda Prabhu was a Avaduta. He was not scared of anybody. He used to fall on the feet of everybody and he used to knock every door. And he used to open the door, he used to say, Krishna is the dearmost person of your heart. How have you forgotten Krishna? Okay, please remember Krishna. If you're going to chant names of Krishna for one time, I'll become your eternal servant. So like that he was preaching. So then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave an advice that, there are two types of people whom you come across when you preach. One are innocent people who do not know anything about Krishna. For them you preach, you explain them, right? There are some people called envious people. Envious people are those who will protest or who will come up with some counter evidence or who will argue or who will fight, who will debate, right? That, no, Krishna is not the Supreme Lord. Bhagavad Gita is not the essence of the things. Pure devotional service is not the final thing. There's something about its jnana. It is something else. No, actually I am Krishna. It's all Advaita. Like that people will say. They're called envious people. Such people, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, avoid them. We should just simply avoid them and go and preach to the innocent people. That's it. Because they are Krishna aparadhi, and the Krishna aparadhi, Krishna will take care of them. We don't have to go behind them and ask debate and waste our energy with them. Okay?
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Yes,
Hare Krishna.
thank you. Any other
Hare
question?
Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes, please.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, Narad Muni, he was serving the sages and he heard about Krishna, and on their advice, he meditated on Krishna. Brahmaji Prabhuji, when he was created, he was searching for his creator for thousands of years. And he only heard two words, tappa. So Prabhuji, whom did he meditate upon and which mantra did he meditate upon?
Nice, interesting.
Because
question.
he had not seen Krishna, no, he knew about Krishna.
Right. So when Lord Brahma was manifested from that lotus flower which came from the navel of Lord Vishnu, he tried to find out, but there was nobody at all in the universe. There was nobody in the universe. There was no demigod, there was no devata, there is no Indra, there's nobody there actually. He saw the universe was empty. There's no human being, there's nobody, it's not an animal, nothing is there. Right? And he did one thing, okay, he thought, okay, let me do some investigation, right? Just like our scientists who try to do speculation, right? He thought, okay, let me do research. Research means what? You're trying to search, whatever is there, you're researching. So he said, let me research. So he went inside deep into that navel and he tried to research. He went to inside and he tried to see something with all his intelligence, but he could see nothing. He went inside the navel, he saw nothing. He came back, he saw nothing. He went inside, he saw nothing. He didn't understand anything. Right? At that point of time, he starts to worship, right? He starts to pray, right, to the Almighty that, please be merciful upon me and appear in front of me. Then Lord Vishnu appears in front of him, right? And he appears like a big mountain, and then he shows him his feet, lotus feet, and also he does a shake hand. It is given that, the first shake hand is by Lord Vishnu to Lord Brahma. So he does a shake hand, Karachalana, the first shake hand. And he encourages him and he says that, you are my pure devotee, you are my devotee, and you have been very nicely, devotionally, you have called me, that's why I have come. Okay, and then he tells the Chatushloki Bhagavatam. He says, I am the origin and I am the end. I am the beginning, I am the middle, I am the end. So you can see here, there's nobody. It's only from me, everything comes, everything goes inside me. Okay, you have been created by me. Now, you go and create the universe. I have already created the skeleton or the structure of it, sarga. You do the prati sarga. You fill in the details. Then Lord Brahma says, no, I'm very worried. If I'm going to associate with all of this material nature, I'll go into Maya. Your Maya is so strong. He says, okay, don't worry. I'm going to give you immunity that you will stay away from Maya. Okay, you always remember me when you're doing your activity of Brahma, you're creating the universe. So that you don't get attached, you always think of me and do your work. Same principle of Bhagavad Gita. And then you will not be attached and you will be immune to Maya. You will be situated in a transcendental position. I am giving you my blessings. Right? So that is when he starts to worship and all, and then he starts creation of the universe, and all the devatas will come, all the, one after the other, all the universe will come. Okay? That's what happens. So did I answer your question, Mataji? So, yeah.
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Yeah. Hare Krishna. Any other doubts,
Hare
devotees?
Krishna. Prabhuji,
Yes, please.
one thing, Hare Krishna,
Yes,
Prabhuji.
please. Yes, please.
Actually, in our reading classes, we all are in Canto 6, Chapter 18, Prabhuji. And in that, we have a small doubt, Prabhuji. Should I ask you now, or will you give us
I
some
would
time
say
and
if
clear
you
our doubt,
can, I mean, if
Prabhuji?
it's, I mean, I'll have to read it to get the context. I don't know what's the context. If you can, I would request you to please send me the verse number and maybe do audio recording or something like that. We'll connect offline because I have to go through that. Okay, that's fine. If it
No,
is
Prabhuji,
something
not
very
just me,
generic,
Prabhuji. Everybody,
yeah, no
everybody
problem.
wants to, in our group,
Sure.
Prabhuji, we all want
Yes, yes.
to clear this doubt.
Yeah,
Every
definitely,
from Monday
definitely.
to, okay, Prabhuji, I will. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Sure, yes. Naresh Prabhu, I don't think Brahma meditated on Om. I don't know. I'm not sure. Okay, this I don't remember which mantra he meditated there, but may not be Om is what I'm thinking because I don't remember reading in Bhagavatam that he meditated on Om. Okay, he did tapasya for 1,000 years. He did 1,000 years of tapasya, and after 1,000 years of tapasya, Lord appeared in front of him, like that. Okay. So yes, devotees. So I think we'll stop here. Thank you so much for joining. Actually, I want to do something else. So I want to read some more points, but we didn't get time. There's a conversation between Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Ramananda Rai. Okay, there's a conversation between Ramananda Rai and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Very wonderful conversation where Ramananda Rai, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is asking him, okay, tell me how to attain the topmost benefit of a human form of life. And Ramananda Rai starts proposing one after the other different religious principles, starting from Varnashrama to Nishkama Karma Yoga to Jnana Yoga to Sannyasa and then to Bhakti and then Vishuddha Bhakti, and then he speaks about 5 mellows of devotional service, that is Shanta Sakya, Shanta Dasya Sakya, Vatsalya Madhurya, and then he says Madhurya is the best, and then he speaks about the gopis and he says Radharani is the best, and then he concludes with gopis and Radharani, and that's when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu becomes completely satisfied and says, yes, now you have come to the final point. There's nothing beyond this, right? So I given a very quick gist. Maybe some other class I'll tell you this. Very interesting conversation where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is asking questions and Ramananda Rai is telling. And finally he says, the devotional, pure devotional service, right? Pure devotional service to Krishna is the topmost religious principle, right? Without any expectation, right? We should be serving the Supreme Lord. That loving devotional service, the gopis have embodied it. And Radharani is the head of all the gopis. She is the topmost devotee of Krishna, right? So they are, yeah, yes, Prabhu. Yes, Matas.
No, Prabhuji, I'm just.
Yeah, that's it. So
We
that's,
covered it in morning class today. I
yes,
just listened to it again, and the final answer was first of all, you have to become extremely humble, and with the help of pure devotees,
right.
you should, with your body, mind, and words, serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead without asking for any benefits. In pure devotion, meaning you for no, you don't ask for anything.
We don't ask for
Pure
anything.
love. It's the
Yeah,
pure
we
prema
should not even
bhakti.
ask for impersonal
Hmm.
liberation also. We should not even ask for impersonal liberation that, I want to become mukta. Right? That is
Yes,
also some kind of a demand, right? We should not even ask for that.
yes.
Our goal should be only to satisfy Krishna, right? So that is called pure devotional service.
Tarorapi sunichena,
That
I'm
is
forgetting that. Trinadapi sunichena,
another.
tarorapi sahishnuna.
Yes, Manas. Yes.
Thank you,
Prabhuji, thank
Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna
you.
devotees. Thank you very
Prabhuji,
much.
thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, devotees. Hare Krishna.